New AI image tools are dropping all the time. It's easy to get lost in all the hype, all the new features and updates that keep coming out. Which one actually delivers the results that you need? I had that conversation with my friend Adi, who's a marketing expert. She wasn't settled on Midjourney and wasn't sure if the money that she was spending for her subscription was worth it. So I walked her through some of the tools that Midjourney has to offer and recorded the tutorial so that you can follow along. We explore the key features that are practical for her work and her small business. Stick to the end and see if she's sold on Midjourney. Let's dive in. You kept asking questions about AI imagery because you need it, so just kind of explain why, what you do.
In the past few months, I've been working in a content company. We create content. I'm focusing on the side of marketing and strategy and branding. Then now I want to be able to create with these amazing tools by implementing the language we've created. And this is where I find it really difficult anyway for me to use that language and utilize it in order to create images that are resonating what we want to, message.
So we'll go over Midjourney. I'll do a brief overview over the interface, and then we'll kind of get into the more details. As you know, you've got your general kind of interface here with all the explore button where you can see other people's work. And I think it's really important to kind of look at other people's work and see, how did this image, for example, is something that I know some of your clients would require this kind of quality image.
Mm-hmm.
Here they show you what their prompts are.
Yeah.
Good way of getting inspiration. There's no rules to it per se, because you might have a nice image with basically one sentence. But we'll go over prompting a bit and understand it a little.
And we also know that using the same prompt twice doesn't necessarily create the same product, right?
That's because it randomly creates images from the start of noise of pixels, and then it diffuses into an image. It predicts the pixels to create the image. So you've got your create tool. So this is where you basically prompt your image. I really recommend organizing. I'm not quite organized, to be honest, but make sure you organize and create your folders. So you can in Midjourney create folders here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Create a folder and create projects and stick the images in there, because what happens is very disorganized. You end up having, look how many images.
Yeah.
And then how do you track all this?
You get lost.
And another thing is get into the habit of, I wish there was a delete button, but hiding images you don't like. Let's say I hide this one. You can hide it. I clicked on the right mouse button, hide it, and gone. Okay. I suggest looking at the personalize tool. Tell Midjourney what's your taste. In the create tab, when you start prompting, you've got the settings of the prompt. And here's where you can change the aspect ratio. You can make a portrait, square, landscape. I often work at 16:9, but you can go into a 1:1. You can add full stylization. So Midjourney has a style to it, an inbuilt style. You can reduce that to 0. I keep it quite low generally. You can add weirdness, so it goes a bit wonky, of variety. So this is quite high variety, even though it's low. That's why we go a variety of images. But if I went to 0, you'll see more or less similarity between all the images. And this is where, because I did the personalization, you can get to add that personalized. So click on to my style or my taste. It works to some degree, but you can play with it. I switch between on and off just for fun. It's not a big thing, because actually your prompt and what we're going to show you in terms of styling here is where it's at. In terms of prompting, one of the things we were taught, of course, is keep it short.
That's the big difference, because with LLM, which is, I feel I'm really good at, the prompt needs to be very detailed. And this is what makes it very different for me, that in Midjourney, I have to be very short.
Not short, but very specific. It's not necessarily about being short. You can give it a long prompt, and you'll see examples of that in the explore section. But
I tried with long prompts. Add this, don't do that, and all this stuff. It didn't work for me.
That's why you need to start with the positive wording. So what is it that you do want to see?
So can we go back, or have you managed to get the woman with the AI helpers for me?
Yeah, I'll go down to the images that you asked. So you said you needed an image of a woman working at her desk and robots sitting at their desks around her as if she's their boss and they're working for her. So during the course, I typed this while we were sitting there. I think this was the better image I got, but I was having trouble because the prompt is a woman sitting at her desk working, comma, in the background 5 robots sit at their desks working, bright and colorful office, sunny daylight, 8K photograph. A lot of the times when you give it many things to think about, many elements in an image, it doesn't quite get the details right. It's really important, first of all, to start the prompt with the thing that is the most important part of the image. So it's the woman sitting at her desk, but
So we start with the main.
That's the priority because that's
item. Yeah, the main thing I want to see.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets. Those are the words it's going to use to predict the image first. The priority is the words that you start with, the subject. It could be an oil painting of something because that immediately says this is an oil painting. It picks up on that word and then you can start adding woman standing in a farm. The priority is the woman, the setting is the farm, and it's not going to necessarily separate for that, but the farm doesn't take precedent over the woman. Here it kind of understood that there's, okay, give me 4 robots, not 5 robots, but that's fine.
And that's fine. Let me just explain what I'm trying to achieve. The idea is to talk about how AI, how can each one of us can create our own helpers with, agents with AI, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, or whatever. And this is what I'm trying to showcase. A single person working with the AI supporting or working for them. This is why it's important for me to show that they're not colleagues. It's like they're working for us.
That's why you need to compose your image. And I think through prompting alone, very difficult to convey such a complex concept, to be honest.
Okay.
Add your color, your lighting, your mood into your prompt. So you have to break up those elements of the image.
So where does the color scheme enters? Where do I add kind of color palette?
I kind of put it towards the end. But if you...
Okay, so let's talk about pinks and blues and soft colors.
So the way I would do it is not through prompting. You can push it towards warm lighting.
Okay.
Soft, sunny daylight.
Mm-hmm.
You want to now affect the style. Now here, this icon here next to the prompt, you can upload an image.
Oh,
now,
good. To
right?
give it kind of an example of what the style I want it to refer to.
Style, but not only style. So I'm going to load up this image. Inside the image, you have 3 little icons. You can use as a character reference. So for example, if I want a certain model, a certain look of a woman, you can say, I want to put myself in there.
Okay. So if I want her to look like me, like bright skin.
It won't look like perfectly you, but it'll pick up on your
my colors
your hair,
and stuff.
The way you are generally. You can get it to look quite like you if you give it multiple images and they're good quality images. If I give it 4 images of you, for example, it kind of learns you. And then here you've got a style reference, which is what you want, but you can also give it image prompt. So for example, if you have an image of a woman sitting at her desk in a certain position, it can help it prompt. And with the lighting, with the colors. So it's quite similar to the image, to the style reference. So let's pick a style reference and let's see if the colors... Now it's pushed it because of the style. This is the difference between style referencing, right? So it's actually used the style.
But it's totally different.
It's used the style. Yeah, very different in styling.
Yeah.
But if I then say...
Yeah, but it took it very far away. So I was expecting it to take the image, keep it quite close.
Right.
To what we had as an outcome.
I'll show you how, And this is to show I'm on purpose kind of going through this process with you. And it's quite frustrating for most people. And even
it is for me if I would get into this point. I would say, okay, great. I managed to prompt the right image. Now I want to adjust the style and then I get a totally different outcome than what I wanted. So correct. I didn't want to change it, obviously.
Correct. So I find that I have to think through, like in your case, a woman sitting at her desk working and in the background's robots working for her. And I said, okay, I need to break it up. There's different elements happening in this image. Either I split it up with a woman working at her desk first and try to get warm colors, or I create an image of robots sitting in working. Created quite a few of them. I didn't like these Isaac Asimov type robots. I like this kind of cutesy kind of slaves.
More friendly.
Yeah. So I wrote humanoid robots sitting at desks working on computers in a colorful modern office. Photograph, bright daylight, low contrast. Here's where the cool stuff happens with Midjourney now. So I can right click on it and copy the image URL. I can also save the image, copy the image, as you know, but I'm going to copy the image URL. Then here on the left, I have the edit section, and I can edit new image and click edit from URL. But I can also upload an image. So for example, if you have an image that you want to edit or get influence from, you can upload it here. I'm going to edit from URL, paste the URL that you copied, right? And bring the image in.
Okay.
Here you can scale it down. Oops. And move it. So you've got your tools here on the left. Move, erase, restore, undo, redo, suggest prompts for it. You can change your brush size. So when I want to erase something, you can change the brush size here, or with your mouse wheel, just change it. I can position this here and keep the same prompt and submit and edit. Now what it's going to do is fill all around.
Outpaint, yeah.
And outpaint, yeah, to the rest of what it should add some robots. And there was, it can come up some weird examples.
Well, some of them are cute.
Yeah. You can create the background, and then you can come in, erase an area, and prompt a woman sitting at her desk working, daylight. I would keep to the same style as the original, because you want to, but it's going to pick up on it anyway, so it's not a big problem. We're in the edit.
Wow. It's going to edit only the area you erased.
Yeah, it failed. Something went wrong. Thanks, Midjourney.
Yeah. Always in the moment of truth.
Yeah. So what it's done, which I don't want, put her.
It looks great.
You like it? Okay, so, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, you thought of something else?
Well, what I did, but do you see what I mean? You can say, okay, I like that. I like her being part of there. What I said to myself is she's overseeing them, right? So if I go down to all my examples,
tested,
which I have too many of them.
Done your homework, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I did is I said, you know what, it gave me this image.
Oh, this is good one.
Yeah, so I said, it's better if her back's like she's overseeing. So what I ended up doing is I drew around in the kind of shape, and I wrote in there. So here it's written side shot of a woman. Yeah, well, in the end it was a back shot, because this is a side shot.
Yeah.
But I did get this image better here because she's got the power. Yeah. And she's overseeing them. The beauty of this edit tool as well, I don't like that she's got her microphone.
So, her headsets?
Yeah, it kind of looks, and she's not realistic enough, and it's a bit Pixar-ish. So you can then move to this tab here, retexture. And in the retexture, you can say, a woman sitting at her desk, working in a bright, with, robots in the background. You don't necessarily need it, but it's just to give it the context, because we know context is very important for AI. You can say gray, dark lighting, because it's rainy outside, or...
It's amazing that you wrote a woman, and all the images you got were of really young women.
Yeah, that's so, obviously here you'd want to describe your subject, right? You'd want to say dark-haired, middle-aged, or you try to push it into a certain place. Of course, that's the context you have to give to the AI, but you have to build it in building blocks, so you don't throw it all at once.
My challenge is that I feel like every time I touch an image, it goes further away. And another thing, you know what I mean? When I fix the woman's image, then it will change the background or the robots, and that's my challenge.
So you see what I did?
It changed the
on purpose.
The woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I could change in this case, like I said, I can go back to edit.
No, this is not too bad.
And erase around her and keep her in. In retexture, you don't get that option.
So it's retexturing the
whole
entire image.
Yeah,
and then I should fine tune the character.
Yeah.
So not first to fine tune the character and then retexture.
Yeah.
So where do you put the negative one? I don't want headsets.
I could have written
in the end
dash no. Yeah.
Okay.
Headsets or earphones.
Yeah. Great. No headsets.
Yeah. Except it did something weird here.
But
that's going to happen all the time.
That's not a woman, AI.
So, but that's really, you're going to, and I guess
these are good ones, by the way.
Yeah, it's in a way, with these ones, suddenly the earphones don't really bother me. You can start adjusting certain parts of the image. If there are things in the background you want to erase, so you can erase them.
Can I remove the person behind the robot?
Yeah.
So I just erase it and then
and prompt
submit it?
Yeah, you can.
Will it work or?
But look, I erased the guy and I'm going to submit the edit with the same prompt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hoping that Midjourney will cooperate this time.
Because what it's doing is obviously predicting what should come around with the pixels around it. Yeah. So like you see, so it's one way of erasing, and you'll get different, obviously, variations.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No one's going to notice the differences in this case. So now that you've got that, you can say, and I bet if I did that with your earphones, it'll just remove them. And again, if you want to add even more, you might say, I want a whole army of robots. You can do the same thing again and keep zooming out. So you see how we started with an image of 2 robots, colorful, right? And I can keep adding. I can say, okay, you know what? Let's add some more. It's up to you what the composition is now.
Yeah.
The great thing is you can pull in images from outside Midjourney, upload them into here, and just as an example, took this image. I did a crappy sketch, but I can now create imagery from a sketch. If you have
so I can take a stock image.
Yeah, if you've paid for it, and you can say, okay, I want to add to it. So, for example, in line with your kind of work that you do, is you can have an exhibition stand. So here I affected its style, or what I did is I chose the walls and said, use the image prompt for it, just to save time. I added, you can start adding flowers, and then in the end I got to a stand which wasn't good there. And this is where you can communicate to an ad agency, for example. This is kind of the look.
So I can create like a reference for an agency and tell them what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because you can.
That's great.
And that's why you saw earlier, I was playing around with.
You know how challenging it has been in the past for us to do, these references for trade shows. So these are amazing.
You might say, I want this glassy look if you've got the budget for such a thing, right?
I want this budget.
Yeah, it's very huge. And here's the beauty
that's not too bad.
Yeah, because you might say, okay, I need a stand and I have 2 products and I would like to separate them. You get a bit more control. You're not getting frustrated only with prompts. It's really still important to get your prompts right.
But it's much easier to get to the results I want to go to. And from my perspective, as a person that is not kind of Midjourney expert, because, we've talked about it. As a marketing director, from my point of view, I can't learn all the tools and be, professional in all these tools. It's impossible. But I need to be able to work with them daily just to be able to get the work running smoother, to be able to get out some briefs and references to the different professionals or freelancers I'm working with. And this will make my life much easier with the ability to quickly create this reference. And, instead of all these iterations, no, but I meant that to be soft light in the background, or I meant that to be split in a different location. You know what I mean? So this is great from my perspective.
Once you've got the image that you want, let's say we go back to an image like this, you can upscale to gallery. You can move it back to your gallery. So it's actually recomputing it that's higher quality, and then you can upscale it. So in this case, I would go to another platform
Yeah.
and upscale it if you need to for print, for example.
So going back for a minute to adjusting an image to a brand.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a save the date for an event and I want to be using specific colors. Gala event for fundraising for children.
Kids, like doing something, or what's the goal? Like what
Let's
is
go for kids playing a happy image cartoon style, kind of someone drew it with background, let's say with stars or something.
and you want it to be
A drawing, like a kid drew it. But when do I give the colors? Let's say yellow, pink, and blue.
let's for argument's sake, it's on an image that I created.
Yeah, these are good colors.
Okay, so let me save this image. And what I would do is bring it in as an image. You prompt the feel, the mood, yeah, the colors, the tone. You do prompt for that. Colorful, you can say saturated. But let's load this in and use it as a style reference. Yeah, but
That's better.
yeah, so because you see, this is style reference. Yeah, so this created a style reference. It took the colors of it, but it also took the prompt into, starry background.
Yeah.
So you can iterate until you get to an image that you like, because it's not quite what you want, but it could be that you want something like this because it's kind of cute and interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But you asked me a question. Sorry, I forgot what.
So text. If I want to add, let's take the image, this one, yeah. And if I want to add text on the Starry Night, so should I be using Midjourney or go to another tool?
Let's say copy image URL, go to edit, let's try it in Midjourney, see how good it is. Because from what I understand, Midjourney is just as good as the others in text. So I erase this area.
Sometimes, you just need a quick one, maybe for your kids' presentation or something. And it's nice to know what are the options.
Yeah. So
why does it add another the? Oh, that's not too bad.
But you see that added the other the.
Yeah, we can erase it.
You can erase it by coming in and saying, I like the blue one. Just erase it and submit edit and hopefully write in starry background.
I have to say that for me, as a person who doesn't really know how to work with Photoshop and Illustrator, that can be a really good solution for a quick fix if I need. Yeah. Again, not for the profession, because I don't do quick fix as part of my day-to-day job. But sometimes you need something for your personal life. Sometimes you need, even as you said, like a reference, and you want to just to be able to showcase some kind of a reference. That's also really, really good tool to be able to write what I want, and I don't need to learn all the tools on Photoshop or Illustrator, which also cost more money.
Yeah, absolutely. You can start playing with it and say, okay, to your designer, your ad agency, whatever, or your customer even, we're thinking along these
exactly.
lines. This is more children's book style. This is more Christmassy.
So sweet. Oh.
Yeah, it's quite Milky Ways. One of the questions you gave me is that you weren't sure if this is a tool you want to continue after your subscription's over. Is this making you feel more comfortable with it, or do you kind of say...
Yeah, definitely. First of all, you taught me lots of new stuff, which I'm really happy with, because again, my experience playing along with Midjourney with not having the basics was quite different. So I think now it really opens up the possibilities for me, because as we said, I've learned new tricks and new ways to work with it. And also I've defined exactly what I'm going to be able to gain from that. So again, I'm not a designer. I'm not expecting that to be an image I can use now in in an ad. I would still need an expert to know how to manipulate the system better. But if I need something for a slide deck, if I need something for reference with a customer, if I need something for reference with a designer, then that's a great tool that really helps to improve my processes. These are crazy opportunities.
Great. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
I'm glad I helped you, and yeah, I look forward to seeing your images now.
What's next thing you're going to teach me?
Well, I'll do a video. Well, I've done a video on Creo, kind of similar to this, where I did a tutorial. Yeah. I'll do another video on Recraft. I've told you about that tool.
That's very interesting tool. I'd be happy to learn about it.
Great. So I'll see you around. Thanks for joining me. I'll meet up soon.
Bye.
Bye. So that was a taste of what Midjourney can do. A year ago, I wasn't sure if it could compete with some of the more powerful open source models like Stable Diffusion. I was even sold onto the hype that you see in many videos of the Midjourney killers. But to be honest, they've proven me wrong. I'd still like to see some improvement on their editing tools like object removal or more Photoshop-like features, but it's still one of my go-to image generators. So if you like this video, click the like button and do subscribe to my channel. It'll help me grow and provide more AI tips and tricks for you. And if you want to see another tutorial about my current favorite AI image generation platform, click on this link here. And do let me know in the comment section which image generator you prefer the most.